My brothers and sisters, sometimes the pain that breaks you is actually the hand of Allah pulling you closer. You cry alone at night, wondering why life feels so heavy, why your prayers seem unanswered, why everything you love seems to be slipping away. And in those quiet moments when no one hears your sobs except the one who created you, that's when Allah is the closest to you. We often think blessings only come wrapped in comfort. A good job, good health, good relationships. But sometimes the greatest blessings are wrapped in hardship. Sometimes the mercy of Allah hurts before it heals. You see, when you drift away from Him, Allah doesn't always call you back with ease. Sometimes He calls you back with pain. Because pain has a language the heart understands deeply. It's in heartbreak that you learn sincerity in dua. It's in loss that you discover what reliance on Allah truly means. It's in struggle that you realize you were never in control, He was all along. So when Allah tests you, it's not a sign that He's punishing you. It's a sign that He loves you. The Prophet said when Allah loves you, He doesn't abandon you in your comfort zone. He shakes you awake through the storms of life. We often mistake ease for blessing and hardship for punishment. But in reality, some of the hardest moments in your life are Allah's most loving invitations. When He wants to bring you closer, He begins by removing what stands between you and Him. It could be a person you relied on too much, a plan you idolized, or a dream that made you forget the one who gives dreams in the first place. When these things fall apart, it's not because Allah is punishing you. It's because He is purifying you. He is protecting you from a path that would have taken you further away. Think of the times you were comfortable, when everything seemed perfect. Did you pray with the same intensity? Did you cry to Allah with the same desperation? Most of us don't. Comfort can make us forgetful. It can make us rely on ourselves more than our Creator. But the moment hardship strikes, suddenly our tongue remembers His name again. Suddenly, our sujood becomes deeper, our hearts softer, our eyes tearful. That's not coincidence. That's divine mercy disguised as struggle. Imagine someone who is lost in the darkness of the night, wandering with no direction. If someone were to light a fire nearby, the first thing they'd notice is the heat. It burns. It feels uncomfortable. But that same fire that burns also becomes their light, their warmth, their guide. That's how Allah's tests work. At first they sting. They confuse you. They hurt. But as time passes, you realize they were guiding you back to the light you had forgotten. Look at the story of Yusuf. He was thrown into a well, sold as a slave, imprisoned unjustly. But every step of that painful journey was a step closer to his destiny. The betrayal of his brothers was not rejection, it was redirection. The prison cell that seemed like the end was actually the door to his rise. Allah used his pain to elevate him, to cleanse him, to prepare him for greatness. The same applies to you. What you call heartbreak might be your path to sincerity. What you call loss might be your path to freedom. What you call failure might be your path to faith. When you lose something or someone and you fall to your knees saying, "Why, Allah?" Remember, sometimes Allah takes things away not to hurt you, but to empty your hands so you can hold on to Him instead. You can't hold both the dunya and Allah in the same heart. When your attachment to this world grows too strong, He gently, or sometimes forcefully, pulls it away because He knows what you don't, that attachment was becoming your prison. And the beauty of Allah's love is that He never lets a tear go to waste. Every moment of pain has purpose. Every unanswered dua has timing. Every delay has wisdom. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and say, if that hadn't happened, I would never have found peace. I would never have found Him. So the next time something is taken from you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is Allah teaching me through this? When you start seeing your trials as lessons instead of punishments, your heart begins to heal. You begin to see the world differently. You start realizing that maybe, just maybe, Allah loved you enough to test you. Because through that test, He called you back to Him. And that is the greatest mercy of all. Pain has a purpose far deeper than what our eyes can see. When Allah allows pain to touch your life, it's not because He wants to destroy you. It's because He wants to purify you. Pain has a way of breaking the ego, softening the heart, and cleansing the soul like nothing else can. When life is smooth, when everything goes according to plan, we often forget that we are just travelers passing through this world. We build palaces in the temporary and neglect the eternal. But the moment pain enters, suddenly our eyes open, our hearts tremble, And we begin to see life for what it truly is, a test, a journey back to Allah. Think about it. When was the last time you truly felt close to Allah? Was it when life was easy? Or was it in the moments when you were crying alone, broken, and desperate for His help? Pain humbles the heart. It strips away arrogance and pride. It takes away the illusion that we are in control. When we lose what we love, when we fail despite trying our best, when things don't go the way we planned. That's Allah teaching us the most powerful lesson, that we are dependent on Him for everything. Sometimes Allah has to remove the comfort to restore the connection. He breaks your heart to rebuild it in His remembrance. He closes the door of dunya so you can find the door of Jannah. The pain you feel is not a punishment, it's purification. Every tear you shed in dua washes away sins you may not even remember. Every hardship you endure erases mistakes from your record. Allah is so merciful that even your suffering becomes a source of reward if you respond with patience and faith. When Allah loves a believer, He refines them just like gold must be purified through fire. When gold is placed in the flame, it doesn't complain. It doesn't say, "Why me?" It simply melts, reshapes, and shines brighter than before. That's exactly what pain does to a believer. It melts away pride, reshapes the soul, and brings out the brilliance that was hidden beneath the dust of this world. You may not see it now, but every heartbreak, every sleepless night, every wound is polishing your heart so it can reflect His light more clearly. Remember the words of Allah in the Quran. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient. Jude 155, these tests are not random. They are carefully measured. Allah never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. He knows exactly what you can handle, and He sends trials not to crush you, but to strengthen you. Just like a personal trainer pushes you to lift heavier weights to build muscle, Allah gives you emotional and spiritual weight to build resilience and faith. Without resistance, there is no growth. Without pain, there is no purification. Sometimes you wonder, why me? Why this? Why now? But if you could see what Allah sees, you would fall into sujood out of gratitude, not frustration. Because behind every hardship, there's a hidden mercy. That delay that frustrates you may be saving you from a disaster. That heartbreak that shattered you may be protecting your deen. That loss that broke you may be guiding you back to the one who never leaves. Pain reminds us that this world is temporary. No matter how much we try to make it perfect, it never will be. Allah uses pain to detach our hearts from this dunya and attach them back to Him. So when you go through difficulty, don't see it as a curse. See it as a cleansing. Every hardship is like a divine surgery. Painful, yes, but necessary for healing. Allah removes what harms you even when you cling to it. So the next time life hurts, whisper to yourself, this is not the end. This is my purification. Let every tear bring you closer to Him. Let every hardship remind you that Jannah is worth it. Because no pain is wasted when it's endured for the sake of Allah. And one day when you finally meet Him, you'll realize every hardship was worth it. Every wound was wisdom, every tear was mercy, and every moment of pain was preparing you for eternal peace. Tests reveal who we truly are. It's easy to say, I trust Allah when everything is going your way. When the job is secure, the family is healthy and life feels stable. But true faith isn't proven in comfort, it's proven in chaos. The moment things start falling apart, when your plans collapse and your heart breaks, that's when your belief is truly tested. Allah doesn't test you to know what's inside you. He already knows. He tests you so you can see who you really are. So you can witness the strength of your faith, the depth of your patience, and the sincerity of your trust in Him. When a person faces a storm in life, two things can happen. They can either break down or they can bow down. The one who breaks down questions, Allah, why me? What did I do to deserve this? But the one who bows down whispers through tears, Allah, I don't understand, but I trust you. That's the difference between faith that's spoken and faith that's lived. Words are easy, but patience in pain is the proof of Iman. Tests are like mirrors. They reflect your spiritual condition. When you lose something, do you turn to Allah or turn away from Him? When your dua isn't answered right away, do you stop praying or do you pray harder? When life disappoints you, do you still say Alhamdulillah? Because the way you respond to trials defines your relationship with Allah. He doesn't look at how perfect your life is. He looks at how sincere your heart is when it's broken. Look at the Prophet Ayub. He lost everything. His health, his wealth, even his family. Yet his heart remained filled with gratitude. He never stopped praising Allah. When asked about his condition, he didn't complain. He simply said, Allah has blessed me with so many years of ease. Should I not be patient now that He has tested me? That's what it means to pass the test. It's not about never feeling pain, it's about never losing faith in your pain. Allah's tests are not meant to expose your weakness, but to strengthen your faith. You might think you're breaking, but in reality, you're being rebuilt. Every test you go through is like spiritual training. Just as muscles grow when they're stretched and challenged, your faith grows when it's tested. You become more resilient, more humble, more connected to Allah. Without tests, faith would remain theory. Tests turn belief into conviction. When life gets dark, remember, Allah doesn't test you to see you suffer. He tests you to see you rise. The night of hardship is followed by the dawn of ease. But before that dawn comes, Allah wants to hear your voice in the dark. He wants to see if you'll still call upon Him when no one else is listening. Those moments when you feel invisible to the world but seen by Allah, those are sacred moments. That's where your faith becomes real. So when you're tested, ask yourself, am I reacting with frustration or responding with faith? It's easy to panic when things don't go your way. But the believer understands that Allah's plan is always better than their own. Maybe He delayed something because you weren't ready. Maybe He took something because it was pulling you away. Maybe He allowed hardship because it was the only way to wake your heart. The test isn't random. It's perfectly tailored for your growth. And here's something powerful. Sometimes the test itself is the answer to your dua. You asked Allah to make you stronger, so He gave you challenges. You asked Him for patience, so He gave you waiting. You asked Him for faith, so He gave you trials that forced you to rely on Him alone. Every hardship is a hidden response to something your soul needed. So don't let your tests break you. Let them build you. When you're hurt, let your pain push you to prayer. When you're lost, let your confusion guide you to the Quran. When you're tired, let your exhaustion remind you of Jannah. That's what Allah wants, for your test to transform you. And when you pass it with faith, you'll look back and realize the test didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It showed you that even in your darkest hour, Allah was enough. And that was the lesson all along. The closer you get to Allah, the greater your tests will become. At first, that sounds difficult to accept. We assume that faith will make life easier, that praying more will remove pain, that drawing near to Allah will protect us from hardship. But the truth is, the higher your level of faith, the more Allah refines you. The closer you come to Him, the more He purifies your heart from everything that competes with His love. The road to closeness is not paved with comfort. It's paved with struggle, sacrifice, and sincerity. Look at those whom Allah loved the most, the prophets. They were the most beloved to Allah, yet they faced the most intense trials. The Prophet Muhammad was the most honored man to ever walk the earth, yet he experienced loss after loss: his parents, his beloved wife Khadija, his children, his companions. He was mocked, rejected, and driven out of his homeland. If hardship were a sign of Allah's anger, then the Prophet would have been spared completely. But those very trials were the proof of Allah's love for him. They shaped his patience, deepened his compassion, and strengthened his trust in Allah until his heart became unshakable. So when Allah tests you more after you've grown closer to Him, don't think it's because He is turning away from you. It's because He's taking you higher. You see, the tests you face as a beginner in faith are different from the ones you face once your faith matures. At first, Allah might test you with small inconveniences, something that challenges your patience or discipline. But as your heart grows stronger, He gives you deeper trials, ones that demand not only patience, but complete surrender. He's training you for spiritual greatness. Think of it like climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the thinner the air gets, the steeper the path becomes, and the fewer people you find beside you. But the view from the top, the peace, the closeness, the light is beyond imagination. That's what Allah is preparing you for. When He sees that your heart can handle more, He increases the intensity, not to crush you, but to strengthen you. Because every trial you overcome, your soul ascends closer to Him. Sometimes, the hardest part about growing in faith is realizing that the tests never stop. They just change shape. One moment, Allah tests your patience with hardship. The next, He tests your gratitude with ease. When you were far from Him, your pain may have been due to sin. But when you're near Him, your pain becomes purification. What once came as punishment now comes as elevation. The same fire that burns the careless purifies the sincere. And here's something beautiful. When Allah draws you close, He also begins to remove your reliance on people. You might feel lonely, misunderstood, or disconnected from the world. But that's not a loss, that's intimacy. Allah is detaching you from the noise of creation so you can hear His voice more clearly. He wants you to depend less on the temporary and more on the eternal. He tests you to teach you that no one sustains your heart except Him. You'll notice that when your faith grows, your dues become deeper. You stop asking for the world to change and start asking for your heart to change. You begin to understand that strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to remain grateful through it. That's when you realize the wisdom behind your trials. Allah was not trying to break you. He was building your soul to carry the light of faith. The closer you are to Allah, the more He refines you through tests. It's His way of telling you, you are ready for more. Every heartbreak, every challenge, every delay is a divine push toward spiritual maturity. So when life gets harder, even after you've become more religious, don't doubt your path. It's a sign that Allah sees potential in you. It's proof that He trusts you with His trials, just like He trusted His prophets. So when the storms come, don't say, why me? Say, Alhamdulillah, my Lord remembers me. Because Allah only polishes the hearts He intends to shine. And the more He loves you, the more He will test you. Not to distance you, but to draw you so close that nothing stands between you and Him. No matter how heavy the storm feels, every test from Allah is temporary, but the reward that follows it is eternal. Life may feel like an endless series of struggles, one problem after another, one loss after another, but nothing in this world lasts forever, not even pain. Allah reminds us in the Quran, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, but with it. That means while you're crying, while you're hurting, while you're breaking, ease is already written into your story. It's walking beside your pain, waiting for the moment Allah decrees it to appear. You see, we often think that ease means the end of pain. But true ease is the strength Allah gives you to endure that pain with patience. Sometimes He doesn't remove the storm. He simply strengthens your heart to stand in it. Because if He took every hardship away the moment you felt it, you would never learn resilience, gratitude, or trust. You would never discover the depth of your own faith. The tests you face are designed to transform you, not torment you. Every tear that falls is recorded, every sleepless night is seen, and every heartbeat of sorrow is counted. Allah misses nothing. When you sit alone in the dark, whispering His name through trembling lips, the angels are recording your patience, and Allah is preparing a reward so vast that when you see it on the day of judgment, you wish you had been tested even more. Imagine standing before Allah and seeing mountains of reward piled high because of the moments you endured with faith. The heartbreak you bore quietly, the loss you faced with Sabr, the times you smiled through pain because you trusted His plan. Those moments weren't wasted. They were investments in eternity. In Jannah, you will forget every hardship. The Prophet said that the people who suffer the most in this world will be dipped into paradise for just a single moment. And they will say, by Allah, I have never experienced any hardship. One glimpse of eternal peace will erase a lifetime of pain. So the next time you feel trapped in difficulty, remind yourself this is not forever. Every season has an end. Even the heaviest rain eventually stops. What you are facing right now is just a chapter, not your whole story. The same Allah who tested you is the one who promised relief. He is the one who brings the dawn after the darkest night. He is the one who turns sorrow into strength and loss into lessons. And here's the most beautiful part. Allah rewards not only your patience, but also your struggle to be patient. Even if your heart trembles, even if your faith wavers, even if your eyes fill with tears and your lips whisper, Ya Allah, I can't do this anymore. He hears that. He counts that as worship. Because He knows it's not easy, yet you still choose Him. You still believe, you still hold on. That's what makes your faith precious. Every test has an expiry date, but its reward has no end. Allah will replace what you lost with something far better. Maybe not in this world, but definitely in the next. The friends who left, the dreams that faded, the moments that broke you, all of them will be restored in ways more beautiful than you can imagine. And when that happens, you'll realize that every pain had purpose, every delay had wisdom, and every hardship was a mercy in disguise. So hold on. Don't let despair take root in your heart. When you feel like giving up, remember that the tunnel may be dark, but light is already on its way. Keep praying, keep believing, keep moving toward Allah, because no pain lasts forever, and no believer's patience ever goes unrewarded. One day you'll look back and thank Allah for every trial, because it was those very trials that carried you to eternal peace, to Jannah, where there is no pain, no fear, and no tears. Only the everlasting joy of being near the one who tested you, loved you, and never left you. My beloved brothers and sisters, every test you go through is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to draw you closer to Allah. The pain, the loss, the heartbreak, the tears, they all carry divine purpose. When Allah wants to bring you closer, He doesn't always do it through ease. Sometimes He does it through difficulty. Because it's in your lowest moments that your heart becomes most open to His remembrance. It's when everything else is taken away that you realize He was all you ever needed. Every trial you face is a reminder that this world is temporary and that your true home is waiting in Jannah. The hardships you endure today are polishing your soul, purifying your heart, and preparing you for eternal peace. Allah never tests you without reason, and He never leaves you without relief. So even when you don't understand His plan, trust His wisdom. The one who brought you to the test is the same one who will bring you through it. And remember, the test is not a sign of His anger, it's a sign of His attention. Allah doesn't test those He has forgotten. He tests those He loves, because He wants to raise them, cleanse them, and honor them in both worlds. So when you find yourself in pain, don't run away, run toward Him. Cry to Him, pray to Him, surrender to Him. Because every time you say, "Oh Allah, help me," He listens. Every tear you shed in sujood is seen. Every prayer you whisper is heard, and every moment of patience is rewarded beyond measure. Your hardship today is your gateway to closeness tomorrow. And when you finally come out of it, when the ease arrives and your heart finds peace, you'll look back and realize that the very thing you thought was breaking you was actually rebuilding you, stronger, purer, and closer to Allah than ever before. So don't lose hope. Don't give up. Allah's mercy is far greater than your pain. Hold on to Him with faith, with patience, and with love. Because the ones who hold on to Allah are never lost. If this message touched your heart, then don't let it stop here. Someone out there might need this reminder tonight. Someone who's crying, someone who's breaking, someone who's searching for hope. Share this message with them. Spread light, spread peace. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more reminders that lift your heart and strengthen your faith. Together, let's keep inspiring each other to trust Allah. Even when life tests us the most, share this message. Subscribe for more. And always remember, when Allah tests you, it's because He loves you and wants to bring you closer.